Hey everybody, I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country on MKOCRadio.com. Nice to be with you on a Thursday night. Thanks for tuning in. Got a great guest on the line with me tonight. I was privileged to meet him and get to hear him play and sing with his great band Still Country down in Nashville just a few weeks ago. And he loaned his wonderful talents of playing steel guitar and dobro on Freddie Hart's new CD, which you have been hearing all about, and you're going to love it when it comes out, folks. And he's with me tonight to talk about his music and his career. It's a pleasure to welcome Perley Curtis to My Kind of Country. Perley, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Scott. Thank you for that great introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and I sure enjoyed meeting you and spending some time with you. We had a blast down there, didn't we?
Yes. It was a pleasure meeting you also, and we had a good time with old Freddie Hart and doing his recordings, and it was great. And I didn't realize how well you could sing. You up singing.
I didn't realize how bad your hearing's gotten, Perley.
That was good stuff.
Well, I
had a good time.
I appreciate that. My chops aren't where they used to be, but I still enjoy doing that. When you got a great band like yours, it makes you sound good, so that's what did it right there.
It's traditional country. We can't argue with that. We play the real stuff for sure.
Well, that's what I love, without a doubt. Still Country is the name of the band, and by gosh, I think I knew everybody in the group. I walked into a revelry that night, and I knew more people there than I do at home. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, like old home week. You knew Dennis Payne, you said.
Yep.
Pretty well. He's from Bakersfield, California. He plays guitar with us, and Steve Ledford on bass, and Jim Hartley on drums, and Kathy Coons playing fiddle, and myself. So we had a good time backing you up there.
Oh, fantastic group! And you guys play a lot of Thursday nights there at Revelry, I know, and of course you play some other great outlets, and I know you do some road dates, and of course you're playing with David quite a bit. So you're staying busy, man.
Staying real busy, and we're trying to spread out and get busier this summer. So we have everything in place. I've got a Silver Eagle bus that I've had for a while, and I've got a great band. Everybody's ready to hit the road and travel, so we're trying to promote this CD and the new video that's out, and it's doing pretty well so far.
Well, that's great. PerleyCurtis.com is the website you can check out. You can order Perley's latest CD there, and also some of his he's got some other great albums there, too. I want you to check those out. And the one we want to talk about today, though, is called Another Day of a Hero, and what a great video this is. I want to start by having you tell me about this fantastic DVD that you've got out on this song.
Yes, yeah. This song, Another Day of a Hero, was... I have a good friend named Bobby Reed, he's an older gentleman that's been writing songs his whole life, and he's such a great songwriter. I cut his songs because they're so much better than what I write. So in the process of cutting, listening to his songs, I found this Another Day of a Hero, and we cut it. And the more I listened to it, I thought, boy, it would make a great video, and dedicate it to the veterans. And so I've put it together, and I had a good friend that had a video company, and he shot it for me, and I had Dennis Payne, our guitar player, be the lead character in the video. It just turned out really good.
It sure did.
And,
it sure did.
We got a lot of good response from it. All the veterans really can relate to it, So.
Absolutely. Well, we have played it on the show. We're going to, of course, play it again here in a little bit. And I noticed that looks like Bobby wrote or co-wrote all the songs on this CD that you've got that goes with it, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've done 6 songs. We're actually in the studio working on another album, a 10-song album for the band. But this 6-song CD is all Bobby Reed songs, and there's some great songs I've recorded. So there's two songs for the veterans. Another Day of a Hero and Still Fighting Wars is another song that he wrote. And it's pretty deep song, but the veterans who come home wounded and kind of messed up will really relate to it. So it's kind of dedicated to them.
Yeah, it's a very deep song. I listened to the album quite a few times on the way home, and you know, a lot of people that weren't veterans, they wouldn't understand what you know, it's kind of a deprogramming process that you go through when you go
Yes.
into these situations. You know, you're put in harm's way, and you've got to make some split second decisions that normally things we wouldn't even think about in regular life. And then when you go back to your regular life, you've got to kind of reprogram yourself, and that's kind of what this song is talking about. And
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what it's talking about. And I haven't, released this song really as a single yet. So I mean, a lot of people haven't heard it yet. But what folks have heard it is they really relate to it, and the veterans. You know, it's all about the veterans coming home and having to deal with fitting back in. You know, after been through hell over there. You know, fighting, and so it's they can really relate to this stuff.
Absolutely. Well, you know, Perley, I have to applaud you because you know, you mentioned earlier that you're playing traditional country music, and that's exactly what this album is. And the production is fabulous. You're a fantastic singer too. I'll tell you what, man.
Thank you.
You got that range in there. You were singing along with Freddie there at the studio. I'm like, man, this guy is real deal. He's good, man.
Well, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Really hard.
Oh man, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And it was nice of you to come in on Easter, man, and spend time there. We sat there and did all those demos, and I'll tell you what, that was really cool. And I've got a video of you when Freddie was showing you his karate moves there. I've got that on video.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to send that to you. That was really cool.
I took a big chance coming in and asking Freddie Hart to show me some karate moves.
You know, he's pretty stout for 91 years old. He's a little unsteady on his feet, but I'll tell you what, his upper body, he's right there. And I know he made that one move, and he reflex was right there, man. It was wow.
Yeah, it was. You know, it's amazing. While he was kind of showing me some things, how solid he was. He just strong man for 91 years old. Boy, I wouldn't want to tangle with him even right now.
Yeah, he ain't a kidding, man. But what a nice
good
man.
Thing. It's a good thing that he's really a easygoing fella. You know that, because he's really a great guy, easy to get along with.
Oh, he sure is. And I'll tell you what, I think, you know, David had the greatest musicians. All of you guys work so well together, and I was watching you in the studio, and I just thought it was just the epitome of professionalism when you were going, you know, figuring out your leads and everything, and nobody was stepping on anybody, and you were all coming up with your own ideas, and it was a magical thing to witness.
That's what's so fun about being in the studio with great musicians. You know, studio musicians. Everybody knows what to do. You don't have to worry about anyone but yourself. And that's when it's fun.
Absolutely.
And to be able to do that album with Freddie Hart was a honor for me, because I don't know, I've been in Nashville for going on 30 years, and I never ran across Freddie until you know, working on his album, and it was a real pleasure doing that for him. So.
Well, I know he was extremely pleased with everybody, and it was just a lot of fun. And in addition to, you know, it was a lot of hard work, but you could tell everyone was there. You know, they were so dedicated, and they weren't just there for a paycheck. You know, everybody really cared about what they were doing. It was a cool thing to witness, man. I loved every minute of it, without a doubt.
And Aubrey Haney on fiddle.
Oh man,
favorite fiddle player today. I've done quite a few sessions with him lately, and he just amazes me. How great a player he is.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to Gene Watson just the other day, and Gene just did a gospel CD here recently, and Aubrey played on it, and, you know, he said the same thing, man, this guy is fabulous. You know, he's kind of quiet, but he comes in and just knocks it out of the park. And I told him, I said, man, you're channeling Johnny Gimbel today, you know.
He is such a fine player, and he just nails it the first time, you know. He plays all those double stops, and it's just beautiful. I love his style of playing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love your style too. And I'll tell you, the dobro, man, you are every bit as proficient on dobro as steel guitar, and it was just beautiful to hear that. That's an instrument that's kind of making a comeback, I've noticed.
Yes, and you know, speaking of dobro, I grew up playing bluegrass music, and we, you know, through my teenage years, and I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old. That was my first instrument, and then I got into playing dobro as a young teenager, and played up in New England, all over the country, really, playing big bluegrass festivals, and then I took up steel guitar, pedal steel, and the rest is history. I came here and I worked with I got to work with people that I grew up listening to as a little kid, like Loretta Lynn, and a lot of the Opry folks, you know, who's gone now. But I'm glad I was here early enough to meet a lot of the folks that I grew up listening to as a kid.
Wow, that's great. Tell me about Loretta Lynn. I know you were on the road with her for quite a few years, right?
Yes, I worked with Loretta through the 90s for about 7 years, and she was wonderful to work with. And I can remember as a little kid, I mean real young, and my mom and dad's favorite singers were Ernest Tubb and Loretta Lynn, and so they had a lot of their albums. And I remember as a kid looking at their albums and looking at the pictures and stuff, and then to be able to come down here when I grew up and actually play steel guitar for it was a dream come true, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And to get to sing with her, we used to get a chance to sing on the show, and she would come out and sing harmony with me. And
oh wow,
have Loretta Lynn sing harmony with you is quite something.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty intimidating at first, but it didn't take me long to get used to it, you know. And I worked with Holly Dunn for a while, and I went with Trace Atkins after Loretta for a little while, so worked with a bunch of them around. I can't keep a job.
Well, you're in demand, so somebody's always trying to steal you away. I think that's why.
Well, steel guitar is, if you play good steel guitar, there's quite a lot of work.
Absolutely. You know,
many steel guitar players, there's guitar players and other pickers, so.
Oh yeah, well I've always had so much admiration for steel guitar players. It's not just playing a guitar. It's like operating a machine. Really. It's amazing. Who are some of your influences of other steel guitar players?
Oh, by far none other but Buddy Emmons. Buddy Emmons is my hero, and I actually got to meet him. Well, I've met him 2 or 3 times, but just before he passed, I was playing a steel guitar show in Nashville, and Buddy was sitting right in the front row, and almost within arm's reach of me watching, and that was pretty intimidating. He was my hero on steel guitar for sure.
Oh, that's great.
But there's so many good players now. You got Doug Jernigan and Tommy White, and there's a lot of great players out there.
Oh, absolutely. Doug Jernigan, met him a few times. He comes up here to Michigan and does a steel guitar show up here just about every year. And I've gotten to meet him a few times, and man, he's fabulous. And of course,
another wonderful person as well as a great player. He's just a great guy too.
Absolutely. And of course, the night I saw you, Lynn Owsley was there and got up and played, and man, it was cool to see him.
Yeah, I forgot Lynn. He's my good buddy. Lynn Owsley, was original troubadour with Ernest Tubb, and I've got to Terry Bethel, who was with Mel Tillis for years. He's back in town. He's one of the first players that really helped me when I first moved to town. We were opening up for Mel Tillis. I was with the Reno brothers, Ronnie Reno.
Oh yeah.
And we opened up for Mel on a big tour, and Terry Bethel was playing steel guitar for him, and he was took me underneath of his wing and kind of taught me the ropes. And now he's older and he's back in town, and he actually got up at our revelry gig, that we do Thursday nights. He got up and sat down beside me and picked all night. So it was, It was really, really great.
That's cool. I love how you guys all, you all stick together and you all, support each other. I think that's fabulous.
We have to. Have to do that.
Absolutely. Well, getting back to your album, it's called Another Day of a Hero. PerleyCurtis.com is the website, and you can order this along with the DVD and some of Perley's other great music there as well. One of the songs that I really like on this album is called The Big One Got Away.
Yes, and that's a great track on it. Really, the music is really great on that too.
Oh, man.
It was one that Bobby wrote back quite a while back. It's just a good song, and he actually had that recorded tracks on that with a bunch of great pickers, and I just used the tracks and put my vocal on it and remixed it a little bit, but it really came out great.
It really did. I think it's probably one of my favorite songs on there. I really like that one a lot. And
I think mine too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. And My Love Ain't Getting Through. That's another beautiful song.
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing. Bobby Reed, man. He's all his songs are so good. He's got hundreds of them, and I'm cutting some more. We're going to be going in. So we've already got half the album done, and we're going in the 8th and 9th of May and finish it up. So.
Oh, great. Well, when you get it done,
hopefully we'll get it put together well, and I think we've got a couple of guests that's going to come and sing with me, and I wish I could mention their name. I don't quite dare right now till we get it nailed down, but if it happens, it's going to be a really good time to have these guests in singing with me. So
I have no doubt you always
when I know for sure, we'll get back on the radio and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. We'll do a feature on the whole album. I'm looking forward to it, and I know it's whoever it is, it's going to be great because you draw some of the best people in to work with, and they all seem to love you, and I think that's
thanks,
great.
Scott.
And, of course, you've been working with the great David Frizzell, and you've got some dates coming up with him, including the Lefty Fest coming up in June down in Texas. Man, that's going to be a heck of a show.
Corsicana, Texas, yeah. I try to do as much with David as I can. He's another good friend, and I love his, because he plays real country music also, and I get to play some dobro with him. So we just did Mike Huckabee's show Friday.
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
David.
Yep, David and
Did
Sarah.
you see it?
I sure did. Yep, Sarah Patrick and Alan was there, and man, you had Huckabee himself was playing bass. I thought that was pretty cool.
I know. Yeah, he was right beside me, and I looked over and I said, "Well, I didn't hear any screw ups." And he said, "Well, you didn't listen very good." He's a great guy too.
Oh, that was a great show. I'm always glad to see that, and you all sounded great on there. It was really cool to watch. I love that.
Yes, yeah.
Well, PerleyCurtis.com is the website. Another Day of a Hero. We're going to play that one for you and a couple of the other cuts off of this great CD. There's a CD and DVD available there. I encourage you to get that. If you're a veteran or if you know somebody that is, you will love that. And if you're a fan of real country music, absolutely pick up some of Perley's great music. And he's also got a great duet CD with Aaron Hay that you put out a few years ago. That's a whole album that you did too, right?
Yes, yeah, we did a whole album, and on my website, all those are listed as I forget, including this new CD. There's like 4 or 5 CDs on there.
Yeah, there's a self-titled.
If anybody wanted a hard copy of the video, you can also order that. So it's all there.
It's all right there, and there's a self-titled album, and then Amazon has an album called Too Many Honky Tonks that's available. I found that. And you've got Heartbreak Town. You did a great version of I'll Be Your Stepping Stone, man. I've played that several times. I love that song.
Oh, yes, and speaking of that particular album, that's Heartbreak Town album, I did that quite a few years ago, and I recorded an old song, I don't know if you've heard it yet, on that album called Letter Etched in Black.
Ooh.
It's an old Hank Snow song, and I got the wild idea of calling Caton Roberts, that was Hank's steel player for years, to see if he would come and do a guest spot on my album, and he said he'd love to, and he came down and played on Letter Etched in Black and another Hank Snow song, Golden Rocket.
Oh, wow.
And oh my word, it sounded so good what he played.
Well, I'm going to go pick that up and check that out. That's cool. Caton just passed away here recently, too.
Yes, he did. And I became, through him working on that album, I became good friends with him. He was another wonderful guy. So many great people in this business, and I got to be good friends with him, and he just passed, I think, a little less than a year ago.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's one of the things
wonderful stuff on licks on those 2 songs.
Oh, great. Yeah, I can't wait to hear that. That's one of the things I love about coming down to Nashville. There's so many great musicians and artists down there, and they're so personable, and you just, can sit and talk with them, and they'll get up and play, and it's just, it's just a big wow factor for me,
Yeah. Everybody is pretty down to earth, That's what makes it nice. I moved here, I got figuring it up a while back, how long I have been here. I moved here in the winter of '88, and I love it here. I've never wanted to move away after I got here.
I don't blame you. I love it down
All
there, too.
Great musicians, and it's just the music business here.
Well, it's nice because you can still, there's with all the new country stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. There's still plenty of real country music to be heard in Nashville, and it seems like it's kind of making a big comeback in these last few years too.
Yes, yeah, it always comes back around. I'm with you there. I like the traditional country, and of course, there should be room for everybody, but they kind of pushed the more traditional country out, and that's why we appreciate folks like yourself who are willing to play independent artists and play more traditional music.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've got the
really,
listeners.
Really, thank you for that, Scott.
Oh, it's my honor. We've got the listeners. They seem to love it, so we love it too. Hey, tell me, you said you worked with Ronnie Reno some years ago. I met him he was working for Merle Haggard back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yes.
I met him a few times.
Yeah, well, when I moved to town, he had just retired from Merle and moved back to Nashville. He was with Merle, I think, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And his right-hand man played acoustic and sang harmony parts with him. And then him and his brothers put a band together, him and Dale Reno and Don Wayne Reno, and the 3 brothers and myself. He hired me, and that was my first job. And immediately we went out west and on a big tour opening up for Mel Tillis, and I thought, boy, that's I'm where I need to be.
Absolutely.
And play with artists like that. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy. I got to meet him several times, and Leona Williams was traveling with him at that time too. And man, those two sang so great together.
Yep. Yeah. I actually got to know Leona fairly well too. I've hauled around on my Silver Eagle a time or two, and
she's a sweetheart.
Wonderful lady. Yep.
She sure is. Yeah, she was down there at the Midnight Jamboree that night too. It was so great to see her, and I know Freddie was pleased to see her too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, Perley, I'm looking forward to hearing your new music, and I hope you'll come back on the show. And in the meantime, we're going to play some cuts off of this great album, Another Day of a Hero. You can get it at perleycurtis.com, as well as Perley's other stellar music. If you're a fan of real country music, and of course you wouldn't be listening to my show, this is music you must have, folks. Perley Curtis, thank you so much for being on My Kind of Country. It sure has been nice talking with you.
Thank you, Scott, and as soon as we get this new album done, you'll be the first to get a copy, and we'll do this again, hopefully.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Allow me to come back on your show.
Well, it's my honor anytime, and I'm sure looking forward to seeing you again when we get back down to Nashville.
Yes, sir. Okay, Scott. Good talking with you.
All right, you too. That's Perley Curtis. Here's some of his great music from his new album, Another Day of a Hero, as we continue with My Kind of Country right here on MKOCRadio.com.
Once again tonight, he'll tell his stories and show his scars where he was wounded in the war. And at closing time, he'll slide down from his bar stool, and he'll slowly limp and stagger out the door. He can barely climb the stairs to his apartment. He'll fall down upon his bed when he walks in. All alone he'll wait for sleep there in the darkness, not caring if he ever wakes again. So ends another day of a hero, just one more day of hell is his reward. But he'll live his life of pain in a body scarred and lame, till the day he gets his new one from the Lord. morning sun will find him sharing coffee with the old man who lives across the hall. And oh, how many times that old man's heard each story that goes with all his medals on the wall. So begins another day of a hero. Just one more day of hell is his reward. But he'll live his life of pain in a body scarred and lame, till the day he gets his new one from the Lord. Till the day he gets his new one from the Lord.